And we've had a pretty active afternoon and evening. We have a pretty strong line of storms making their way through the region right now. We've seen one severe thunderstorm warning that was down into the Boot Hill, which has since expired, so some good news. Closer look into SEMO, though, still seeing some of those very heavy rains, especially along some of our Boot Hill counties just south of Sikeston, but that line extending all the way into Mount Vernon. Some of that energy is being lost. We had a lot more lightning earlier. Now we're kind of seeing that still on the front side of this, but if you're in Benton, West Frankfort, Herrin, Carbondale, you're seeing some pretty heavy rain right now. And although there's not a warning on it, we still have to be very careful as we go into the evening hours. Storm Prediction Center does have our region in that 1 out of 5 threat. So yesterday it was at 2. They did downside it just a little bit, which is at least some good news, but still something we got to watch as we go into the next couple of hours. This is actually a live look right outside of our station. You can see a lot of that steady rain. On top of that, it's very overcast, so visibility is limited. Temperatures are rapidly dropping as the storm begins to push through. So we were just in those 80s, almost 90s here. Now we're in the upper 70s. We have some pretty strong winds out of the west and northwest as that cold front pushes through. Still pretty humid, still seeing a lot of those dew point levels, still in that uncomfortable level, but there is some relief on the way. Out ahead of this front, so parts of western Kentucky, areas that have not seen that rain yet. We've got Paducah and Murray both at 87 and 88 degrees. Union City in the 90s. But then if we just travel over to SEMO, we've got 73 for Cape Girardeau, 73 in Fredericktown. So by at least the end of the evening, we all should have that nice cool off headed our way. We're still pretty humid, tracking that chance for a couple of scattered storms. Into our Thursday, we could see a couple of showers in the wake of that front, and then of course those cooler temperatures. Into the weekend, that's when our next solid storm chance comes, and I know it's awful timing, but it will be nice to have a little bit more rain. Line of storms continues to push through. By about 7 o'clock, it should weaken at least, especially as these temperatures cool down. They have a lot less to kind of work with as far as their strength goes. We're somewhere in those 70s. By 10 o'clock, 70s across the board. The bulk of that rain is now moved off to the east, and that's thanks to that cold front as it continues to push through. We don't actually see that cold front until tomorrow morning, and we also see at least a bit of a cool down. So we were seeing highs in the 90s today, at least for tomorrow, highs somewhere in the mid 80s. So this is heat of the day tomorrow. It's at least a little bit cooler. We could still see that chance for a couple of isolated showers with that, so pretty steady rain chances do stay with us until pretty late Thursday. Then Thursday overnight into Friday, we get that break, but then Friday evening, the chance for a couple of those isolated storms do return. Great to have the Storm Track 3 app, especially on days like today with all of those rain showers and storms moving through. It's a good way to keep up with it all. The other good news, at least if you're kind of over the heat, we've got that nice cool down on the way. So our average high for early July is 88, so we're staying pretty much close to or below that until the end of the weekend. Not seeing a return of the 90s, at least across the board, until next week. So again, tracking at least a little bit of warmth today as far as things go with temperatures. We've got those 90s earlier today. Nice cool off on the way for our Thursday. Highs only climbing into the mid 80s, and we stay with the mid 80s at least through Friday. Into the weekend, I know unfortunate timing. We've got a solid chance of scattered storms on the way. You'll want to be weather aware, but a nice break by Monday, and then the next round of rain comes in next week. So very much a summer-like pattern. We've got some heat and some pop-up storms on the way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fitting, right? It's after Independence Day. It's summertime.
Pretty much.
All right, thank you.